I'm feeling a little malleable tonight. The Rizzo Show starts now.
The Hard Rock Rocksino Northfield Park presents The Rizzo Show. And now your host, Tony Rizzo, with co-host Mike Polk Jr.
Hey now, Michael just dropped that $5 word while we were waiting to go on.
He was really impressed by it.
Oh, what a clunker today, folks. Welcome to the Houston. We have a problem. Boy, that is the most American. Mike, are you freaking out after today's loss, after you were texting me on my phone this afternoon that you are diving off the Baker Mayfield train?
Nah, I never said that. Don't you dare. I just said that we were coming back to reality, which was pretty much inevitable. Don't you think so, or no?
Sliced of a humble pie.
It is a little bit of that. A little bit of that.
I didn't like. I thought the Browns would compete today. They didn't. I hoped that the clunker would come from the Texans, who had won 8 in a row.
Right.
But boy, they were ready for the Browns today. The Browns in the giving mood, folks. You cannot take a young football team on the road and give the ball away four times.
3
Michael.
interceptions in the first half by Baker. That wasn't great.
Career high 3 interceptions. He hadn't thrown 3 interceptions since he played at Texas Tech.
I saw that, yeah. It's nuts.
It's pick 6. Went the other way. Baker, please do me a favor. Don't try to tackle anybody as they're going out of bounds. He gave him the left shoulder, though. He throws with his right.
Yeah.
But, dude, run out of there.
Who was that kicker from, like, the 70s who used to kick and then run off the field? I forget that guy's name, but I love that dude. That's what he should be doing. That's what Baker should be doing.
The other turnovers came compliments of wide receiver Antonio Callaway, who actually got open, made a nice catch, but couldn't hang on to the football.
Yep.
Michael, it was one of those games. It was a bad game. Sometimes, and our producer Kevin said this, our executive director, whatever you are,
Call him whatever you want,
said sometimes you've got to just tip your hat to the better team, and that's what happened.
And this was a good team. We've been beating up on a bunch of bad teams, and it's felt great, hasn't it? We're usually the bad team being beaten up on. We were due for one of these, and as I told you this afternoon, what is going to be interesting is watching people's reaction to this Baker thing, because in a way, this is, I think, I'm not going to say it's good. I'd rather win the game. But Baker was sounding a little cocky, and because he is cocky, that's his attitude. I'm not against it, but so are his fans. We've got all these fans in Cleveland. I understand you desperately want this franchise quarterback. I know, but they were acting like he was absolutely bulletproof and he's already there. He's not there. Well, there's no substitute for experience.
Agreed. He started 6 games.
Right.
But boy, he's looked pretty good in those 6 games.
Great.
I'm going to go silver lining on you right now.
Go ahead.
As bad as Baker was in the first half, boy, he didn't miss in the second half.
No.
Man. You know what? I'm wondering, Michael, when is the day the Browns are just going to go, you know what? Chuck it all over the yard, just like everybody else. Go Pat Mahomes, go run when you have to, but let this kid. Their game plan today, I didn't like it. They came out a little timid. They did, and they kind of played to the defense of the Titans, or Texas. Don't get me wrong, Texas defense really good.
They're insane. And that was the first game. Tell me if you thought this while I'm watching that game. I mean, I think Baker had like 3 passes tipped or something like that. That was the first game. You got Clowney and you've got J.J. Watt, who are both like 6'5". That was the first time I'm like, that height really showed today. Because he's having trouble seeing over and he got tipped a bunch of times.
Although, no sacks.
No sacks?
Folks, Baker was not sacked.
Yeah.
Again, he did throw some costly interceptions, though. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Also today, I thought the defense in the first quarter could not control the Texans.
They couldn't.
Boy, that Deshaun Watson's really good. I wish we could have got a shot at him. Oh, wait. Oh, that's right.
Then you wouldn't have gotten to see Myles Garrett horse collar him and throw him to the ground legally because he was in the pocket.
11 sacks for Myles Garrett in 12 games.
He's a monster. Got to look at these bright sides right now,
that's
which is what we should be looking at.
And Baker played really well in the second half. Didn't back down. Didn't flinch. Still tried to get the ball in tight spaces. Michael, you need an attitude like that. He'll learn. You know what? You know why I feel so confident? He'll learn from this.
Yeah.
He will. He'll learn. All right. Did today's loss hurt Greg Williams' chances of being the Browns' next head coach?
Has anybody asked Greg Williams? I'm assuming he wants to be the head coach, but we're all just assuming that Greg Williams is like, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna whatever? And I'm sure he probably is.
Come get some.
Yeah, I know. No, I mean, I think that it'll at least maybe again shut up a lot of, and I'm a big fan of the show, but a lot of your callers are people on the show who are saying like, make Greg Williams the coach for eternity. I like how he yells at people. I like his goatee. I want you guys to make him the coach coach. Hey, he talks tough.
Wow, you sound just like Mike Collins.
I know I do. So maybe this will bring everybody back down to reality. And I'm not saying Greg Williams is a bad coach or anything like that. I'm just saying let's not give him, with this loss, maybe some people will say, like, let's take a step back and let Dorsey do his thing.
It was interesting. John Dorsey has now scouted Oklahoma the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Their head coach is one of the people being considered, I guess, as a head coach.
Probably not a coincidence.
Look, I think Greg Williams is doing a great job. He's 2-2. I mean, it was a sinking ship. He's better than Hugh Jackson, although I don't know what that'll get you. But I don't think Greg is going to be the guy in the end. Maybe he does. Hey, if they run the table, what do we have, 4 games left? Maybe, you know, if he goes 6-2 in the final 8, I'm sure he's going to get an interview. The owner already said he's going to get an interview. Good. So that's going to happen. But I still think the Browns are going to go outside the organization and bring in somebody who they think will be paired perfectly with Baker Mayfield for years to come.
And you've been saying that since Greg Williams took over, and I agree. I do.
All right, let's take a look at the Rizzy recap. Michael, you cannot turn the ball over. And by the way, the penalties came back today.
Yes, they did.
You know what? I thought the Browns were a little intimidated today in that stadium.
Yeah, they were, and they probably should be. That was a damn good football team.
And you know what? They proved it to me. I haven't watched a lot of the Texans this year. I'm not that I thought 8 wins in a row was a fluke. Yeah. But, boy, after watching them, Deshaun's really good. They've got a running game with Lamar, and their defense is good. They're going to be reckoned with in the AFC. But, Michael, you've got to put this one away. 24-hour rule. You know what that is? You 24 hours, you forget about the game. We're on to Carolina. The Panthers are struggling, and they're beatable Sunday at home.
I'm looking forward to that. And you're right, though. This is a learning experience all around. It was a wake-up call for the fans and the team and the coach and Baker, hopefully. And, you know, we were excited. We get excited. It's been so long since we had anything good. You understand why as soon as we see something good, we're like, that's the future. We're done. We don't need anything else. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Do you still think Baker is the future?
I do. Right now, yeah, absolutely. He hasn't proven otherwise. And I loved how he rebounded in that second half. I mean, you said we were intimidated. We were intimidated by that team, and I totally agree. But he came out of the second half. He didn't look intimidated. He looked like he's like, I screwed up. Let's try and fix this. That's what he looked like.
I think that was the toughest game the Browns have left.
Yeah,
so let's take a look at the rest of their schedule. Okay, Carolina, as I said, is really struggling right now. Denver's decent, and that's always tough.
That is.
To play in that altitude.
Yep.
The Bengals flat out suck.
Oh,
and
I can't wait for that game. I hope that's not one of those letdown games. I want to beat the Bengals so badly.
Even though we beat the Ravens and we played them, do you realize that game for Baltimore could be win in the playoffs, lose out of the playoffs? Michael, that's how a young team starts to take shape, is they win a game like that at the end of the year to keep one of their division rivals out of the playoffs. I know it's not you playing for the playoffs, which might happen next year for the Browns. Folks, the Browns quarterback is a rookie. They're a young team. They're going to get a new head coach. They're not on the level of the the Texans right now. I think the Browns are right where they should be as far as their growth goes.
I think if you're looking at it from year to year, I think we're ahead of it based on the draft class that he got out of this year. Think about that. What is it? The 3 players out of the 12, 13 weeks, we've had like 9 times we've had the rookie of the week chosen to be a rookie of the week. You know, I mean, that's insane right there, and that gives me hope for the future moving forward.
And then Baker was named Rookie of the Month, and then he spouted off in the media, and he had that.
I know.
He had
but what do you, I mean,
game.
He had like 300 garbage yards in the second half today.
And unfortunately, I was playing against him in my fantasy football. Wow. The Browns play the Panthers next week at First Energy, and that's good, as they lost to lowly Tampa Bay today, thanks to Cam Newton, 4 interceptions today. There's something going on there. The Browns defense must be salivating at that stat. The Panthers are now 6-6. Michael, do you think that is a winnable game for us?
I think the rest of these games are winnable. That's what's exciting. And I hope that we can psychologically get over this one and not look at it. I mean, again, you were playing right there. We were looking at, that team could go to the Super Bowl that we played today. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. I do. I think they have a chance. Were the Buccaneers playing in pajamas?
It looked like they were playing pajamas, that was pajama night.
Those look like my Christmas jammies.
It's pajama night.
From back when I was thinking. By the way, Browns D won't have to worry about tight end Greg Olsen. His season is over due to a foot injury.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Coming up, every rose has its song. We will talk about the future of the Buckeyes when we come back. I don't know what we were talking about in the break, but I did have to tell Mike Polk that I saw Elvis when I was a child.
Yes.
In the 70s, my parents took me to the Coliseum. I think it was 75 or 76. I wanted to go see Elton John. They wouldn't let me because I was too young. I was 12 or 13.
Wait, you were too young for Elton John, but old enough for Elvis?
I saw Elvis. They took me to Elvis, and boy, I'm glad I saw him to this day, right?
You can go see Elton John next week.
Beatles.
Yeah.
I can see Elton John. He'll come to your house.
Sure, no problem.
Welcome back, folks. Let's look around the league today, the National Football League. Boy, the Ravens are still in the playoffs right now.
Weird, right?
As they beat the Falcons. Don't look now, but Lamar Jackson is stealing Joe Flacco's job.
That's a very expensive job, too. Think about it. They're really getting their money's worth out of that kid.
I think we could see a parting of the ways there, and I think Jackson might be the future for the Ravens. Do you hate the Ravens or the Steelers more?
I hate the Ravens more, absolutely, because they took my team. The Steelers, I have a certain respect for. That's just our news desk. Take a look at it whenever you want. That's what it's there for. Is everything
all right over there?
It's fine. We're just checking to see if there's any breaking news. Everything's fine.
Staying with the division, the Bengals are winless since Hugh Jackson joined them, Michael.
I noticed that. What's that? The Bengals, honestly, I've decided this. This is my least favorite team in the AFC North now.
They're your new worst in the squealers?
I honestly respect the Steelers. And honestly, I feel bad for the Bengals fans worse than us because at least we feel like we have a future right now. They've been coasting and they've been with Andy Dalton for so long. Wouldn't you hate to be a Bengals fan more than a Browns fan right now?
Yes, I would. Yes. However, I have bad news for Browns fans out there. All right, I keep hearing this rumor that Hugh Jackson could replace Marvin. No, folks, it's not going to happen. With the way things have transpired this season, believe me, I don't even think Mike Brown is going to do that. So just relax, because we all would love Hugh to coach in Cincinnati.
I would love it. Please hire him. That'd be great. It might work out for you, Cincinnati. Does this reach Cincinnati, the show?
We do.
All right, yeah, go get him.
We're on the internets and Googles.
Perfect.
NFL to college. Michael, I didn't think Ohio State belonged in the national championship.
Ooh, that's fighting words.
I didn't think they deserved it, but there's no way they should be 6.
Right.
And 2-loss Georgia is 5. Okay, first of all, Alabama's going to beat Oklahoma by 30. All right, Clemson's going to spank Notre Dame. Maybe not. I'm rooting for Notre Dame in that game. But it really doesn't matter, okay? Although Alabama got challenged by Georgia last week, trust me, with 4 weeks to go until they play a game, Nick Saban will have Alabama ready. I thought the Buckeyes' loss to Purdue was just one loss, but apparently this committee thought otherwise. And as you said, the rules change every year.
It depends on what they want. You know, now they're taking into consideration what'll be a better matchup. What should we do? You know, and all of this would be fixed, I still believe, if they went to 8 teams.
They're going to have to.
They have to. Because
6 for sure.
A lot of these teams are just interchangeable at this point. Like, you can't say that one is so distinctly better, and that's going to keep happening. And I know then you'll be like, well, then 9 is just as good as 7. But 8 seems like a good number. That seems like only having 4 teams.
Right.
I mean, you see how many people that lets down across the nation.
Never did I think playing in the Rose Bowl would suck, but it does.
Yeah.
Buckeyes going to the Rose Bowl, they'll play Washington. Does that excite you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it, but again, you're right. I mean, because of this new system, it does take away from the thrill of that. And I'm not saying these things are meaningless or anything like that, but yeah, it's hard to get worked up when you're going to just play another good football game.
Well, Kyle Korver's gone. Did you even notice?
I did.
Are you paying any attention?
I'm the only person still paying attention to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've watched pretty much every single game. I'm watching this team in the same way that, like, even after you're in a dying relationship and you still have to go home and hang out with them, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at with the Cavs right now. And
checking out their Facebook every day?
I'm looking at what they're doing, making sure they're not happy, that kind of thing. And they're not, because you're right. They're bailing now.
Know what they're doing, Michael?
What's that?
They're doing what they need to be doing.
Get that tank out, baby.
They're losing.
Yes.
Folks, this is the way the NBA works. The only way you can get good again is you have to really be bad.
But they all swear it's not the case. Like
they're trying. Oh, I believe them.
I do think they're trying. I just think that they don't have, obviously, the weapons to win with right now.
Zion.
Yeah, I'll take
it. Zion Williamson, kids, from Duke. Remember the name.
But just remember this. This is just so weird still to me. We just went from, do you remember that we went for a title last year? We were literally... we were going for an NBA championship.
Last year?
That was this past year.
No,
Tony.
actually, it was this year. It was like months ago.
Yes. How much of an effect does one guy have on a team?
Feels like it's 10 years ago.
Doesn't it, though? I mean, that feels like yesteryear. And now here we are. We're just like, hey, we might be the worst. We could really go from being like going to the championship to being the worst team in the league.
Well, we have to talk about Kevin Love now because our producer Katie thinks he's really cute.
It's important. He is adorable.
He had toe surgery November 2nd. He says he'll be out out of his boot in 2 more weeks.
That's exciting.
You know what the Cavaliers are doing right now? They're going, just relax.
Yeah, you're fine.
Take it slow.
They're breaking his other toe.
We don't want to rush you.
You know what I mean? You're fine. Hey, no. Are you sure?
Did you know that he's missed 45 games because of injuries the past 2 seasons? Do you think he'll be here at the end of the year?
I hope not, and I like Kevin Love, and I like what he's done for the team. I've been a defender of his since the get-go, since everybody's been, like, the minute we got him, everybody's saying how he's like a cancer and trade him and stuff like that, which was always ridiculous. I never understood the hate. But I hope now, like right now, there's no point to him being on this team. Can we agree on that? There's absolutely no point to Kevin Love being on this team.
Correct. Cavs are
for him, for us, for everybody.
For everybody. He'll be on somebody's team. Yeah. I think a different team by the end of the year. Cavs are back in action tomorrow night as they're in Brooklyn. Coming up, a lot of Indians rumors out there.
Yeah.
Jan Gomes is gone. Could Corey Kluber be next? What the hell's going on out here? Hey now, hey now.
That's for all of you.
You know what? I know it's December, but little boy's summer hot stove here. All right? Folks, if you're an Indians fan, all right, Jan Gomes, they like players. I get it.
It's unfortunate. We were walking around
Ronnie Chisenhall, he'll go. Where did he go? I don't even know where he went. Where did he go?
Pittsburgh.
He'll get hurt.
That's where
he'll get hurt in Pittsburgh. All right?
Perfect.
But the Indians are talking about trading Corey Kluber.
I know. I hear
Michael, Corey Kluber.
Oh, man, they're spinning it, too, trying to make it sound like it makes sense.
Well, he's going to be 33, $17 million next year.
Not my
next
money.
is Carlos Carrasco, 32. Boy, is he a bargain.
Yes.
9.75. Finally, Trevor Bauer is the youngest at 28, and he's only going to make 11.
Oh.
Now, if you want to argue that Kluber hasn't performed in the playoffs or thing or whatever, fine. You wouldn't get to the playoffs without Corey Kluber. The Indians are saying they're not going to spend any more money. Their payroll is maxed out. So in order to get a player or two, they have to trade Corey Kluber. That's a tough message to your fans, Michael. It really is. Now, the one thing the Indians do well, though, is fine pitching. I don't know where the hell they got Clevenger and the Bieber. I mean, come on. I mean, they come out of the woodwork, and they're good pitchers. But it's a tough sell to your fan base. You're going to sell our best player.
Nobody can say that they don't do a lot with a little. Nobody can say that they haven't been very competent in a lot of the moves that they've made. You know, they've made some really good moves. They've been some great scouting and stuff, considering the fact that they are a mid-market team. But you're right. I mean, you get to the point right now where how do you say we're going to go and unload this guy right now? You're telling your fans you're essentially giving up, and I think it's gross.
Right now, we're lucky because we're in the division that we're in at the moment, and it's a winnable division. Get you to the playoffs. But you know what? What's happened in the playoffs? You've lost to the teams with giant payrolls and a bunch of superstars. Look at the Yankees. Look at how good the Yankees are. They can't win a World Series. The Indians are really up against it.
And you look at those 3 starting pitchers that we just saw right there. Why are we even they're all under contract. Why are we considering trading one of those guys? Do you really think without one of those 3 pitchers, and mind you, some of them get injured and throughout the year and stuff too, so you don't always have all 3 of them. Without those 3 pitchers, would we have been in the playoffs last year or gone as far as we did?
Not the last 3 years, for sure, which is what you've done. Now, the hot rumor has Kluber going to the Dodgers. I do not think, by the way, this is going to happen. For Yasiel Puig, the Dodgers would reportedly have to send another player in addition to the deal. Michael, do you know or like Yasiel Puig?
I do, but I don't know enough about. I know that's probably not a good swap out for somebody.
He's a wild card.
Yeah, somebody who's going to guarantee you, probably at least 12 victories a year. I mean, so I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't see him as a fit in Cleveland, but who knows? I know the Indians.
I saw that rumor too, though.
Yeah, the Indians also, according to actually everywhere, New York Post and more, the Mets are also interested in Kluber if he were to be available, uniting him with Mick Callaway, his former pitching coach. Could you see Kluber in New York?
I could see him going. I could see him. Anybody would want this guy. I mean, I would totally.
Except us.
I get it. Yeah, except us.
Apparently, we've had it.
And we just we still have a chip on our shoulder because he hasn't produced in the playoffs the last couple of years. Get over it, everybody.
I know, leaves a little bad taste in your mouth, but again, let's just see what happens. I know this. The Indians are going to put the best team on the field that they can. It's the money constraints, man. When is baseball going to get it? I mean, even basketball figured out. The NFL is the role model for this. It's got to be an equal playing field.
Imagine being one of the Pirates right now, or a Pirates fan, and just trying to get excited about baseball every single year when your payroll is so low and you know you have absolutely no shot. Why are you doing this? You're just there to rack up L's for other big market teams' W's.
When your players get good, then you got to get rid of them.
Then they're gone.
Nobody wants to hear that. No one.
But it's true.
And again, I'm the biggest Indians fan in the world, but to trade Corey Kluber?
Yeah.
Oh.
Gross.
All right, already shaping up to be a very interesting offseason. Stay tuned. When we come back, one final segment. You never know what Michael's going to say.
I got lots of stuff to say.
Hey now.
Uh-oh.
When are we going to show the show in between the breaks?
It'd be so much more
We just
entertaining.
argued about the Indians for about 5 minutes
Yep.
while you guys were waiting.
Sorry,
All right.
guys.
Don't forget, stay tuned. Fox Game Day Prime. Then, you know our friends Big Chuck and Little John are coming up next. Browns home next Sunday. Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers will be here in town.
Yes.
Quickly, your plugs, Michael.
Oh, hey guys, Tuesday shows at the old Pickwick and Frolic. Come down and check those ones out. Still doing those. We got a Brown show coming up. Not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. We're going to be doing that one, so come and check that out.
Is Hugh Jackson your special guest?
He's actually serving drinks.
Good to be alive.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.